Representative Pete Sessions from Texas, he's a Republican, has confessed to what the real goal here is for the Republicans. He made a very curious analogy he probably should not have made. He said that the House Republicans are now like the Taliban, and that they have learned from the Taliban's insurgency. Now, he said over and over, to be clear, after he made those comments, and then he came back and clarified and said the same exact thing. Now, I don't mean we're like the Taliban, but there's a lot to be learned from the Taliban. Okay, now, he doesn't mean in the same way that, you know, they oppress women and other people inside the country, etc. You could make that analogy as well, but that one is a little too tough, even against the Republicans. But no, he means in terms of counterinsurgency and throwing the other side off their game. Now, it's an analogy he shouldn't have used, but what I found to be even more relevant is his reasoning. So let me give you the quote here. He says, "Insurgency we understand perhaps a little bit more because of the Taliban, and that this is what they went about systematically understanding how to disrupt and change a person's entire processes. And these Taliban," and I'm not trying to say the Republican Party is the Taliban. No, that's not what we're saying. I'm saying an example of how you go about is to change a person from their messaging to their operations to their frontline message. And we need to understand that insurgency may be required when the other side, the House leadership, does not follow the same commands which we entered the game with. Okay. So in other words, we are going to do an insurgency against the Democrats and against Barack Obama. And we're going to try to throw them off their message, off their game plan, off their processes, as he said. We aim to defeat these guys. Now, to me, that seems obvious. I think, well, of course. But I think that when Obama reads this, he might be a little surprised. Like, golly gee willikers, it turns out the Republicans don't want to work with us for the betterment of the country. It turns out that they're not really interested in making sure we come out of the recession. Could it be that they don't mind if we stay in the recession so they could blame it on Obama in the next elections and on the Democrats because they now control the country? No, say it ain't so, B.O. Say it ain't so. But turns out it is so, and Representative Sessions here made the mistake of admitting it. So now do you still want to work with these guys? Because what you're missing, and this is what's frustrated me so much for the beginning part of the Obama administration, is you're missing a fundamental premise here, because their objective is not the betterment of the country. That might be your objective, but that is not their objective. Their objective is the betterment of their political party, which they suspect is bettered if you do poorly. If the country does poorly because of it, well, sad day for you. But I'm going to try to defeat everything you do and then blame you for all the problems of the country. That is their objective. So you cannot get them to work on your objective because you do not share the same goal. You see? I think that should be obvious. But it seems that the Obama team has not woken up to that yet.